It was a typical Sunday afternoon, and my family decided to have a big gathering at my cousin's house. Everyone was there, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, the whole lot. But there was one person who I wasn't expecting to see, my ex, Alex. You see, Alex and I had broken up nearly a year ago, but our families had always been close. We'd shared countless holidays, birthdays, and events together. So, when my cousin invited me to the gathering, I assumed everything would be fine, just another family get-together. But when I walked in and saw Alex sitting there, my heart sank. At first, I tried to act like everything was normal. I greeted everyone, gave hugs, and tried to avoid eye contact with Alex. I figured he wouldn't notice, or at least, he wouldn't acknowledge me. But then, it happened. After a few minutes, my mom called me over to help with the food in the kitchen. I thought it was just going to be a quick task, but the second I turned around, Alex was standing right there blocking my way. We stared at each other for a moment, both of us not quite knowing what to say. The awkward silence stretched longer than either of us wanted it to. Finally, Alex broke the ice. "Hi," he said, his voice calm, but there was an edge to it. "How have you been?" I didn't want to make it weird, but I couldn't stop the emotions that rushed in. "I've been good," I replied, trying to keep my tone neutral. I had moved on, or at least I thought I had. But standing there, facing him again after all that time, it stirred up feelings I hadn't expected. He smiled a little, the same smile that used to make my heart flutter. And just like that, all the memories came rushing back. Our late-night talks, our inside jokes, the way we used to be. For a moment, I felt like we were back in that place before everything went wrong. Then, out of nowhere, Alex said something that completely threw me off. "I miss you," he whispered, almost as if he was confessing something he'd been holding back for a long time. My heart skipped a beat. I didn't know how to respond. Was he serious? Was this just some random nostalgic comment, or did he actually mean it? Before I could say anything, my cousin walked into the kitchen, completely oblivious to the tension in the air. He started talking about some family drama, and just like that, the moment was gone. But that brief exchange stayed with me for the rest of the night. Throughout the evening, every time I looked at Alex, I saw a different side of him, one that I hadn't seen in a long time. There was a vulnerability there, a sense that maybe he wasn't as over me as he had seemed when we broke up. And for some reason, it made me question everything I thought I had moved on from. Later, when I was sitting on the porch with my cousin, she noticed that something was off. "You okay?" she asked, looking at me with concern. "I'm fine," I said quickly, but I could feel the emotions bubbling beneath the surface. "It's just, Alex, it's complicated." She raised an eyebrow. "Complicated? He's still into you, isn't he?" I didn't answer right away. I couldn't. I didn't want to admit that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't as over him as I had told myself. But then, as the night wore on, something unexpected happened. Alex came over and sat beside me on the porch. We didn't speak for a few moments, just sat there in silence. But it wasn't uncomfortable. It felt natural, like old times. He finally broke the silence. "I never wanted to hurt you. You know that, right?" I nodded, but I couldn't bring myself to say anything. "I messed up," he added. "I know that now, but I still care about you." Hearing him say that, it hit me harder than I thought it would. I hadn't expected him to say anything like that. Part of me wanted to say that I was okay, that I had moved on, that I didn't need him in my life anymore. But the truth was, I wasn't sure. As the evening drew to a close, I found myself questioning everything I thought I had healed from. Seeing Alex again brought up all these unresolved emotions, and I didn't know where to go from here. I left that night with so many mixed feelings. My ex, the one I thought I was completely over, had come back into my life in a way I wasn't prepared for. I didn't know if I was ready to face those feelings again, but I knew one thing for sure: that night would haunt me for a long time.